Welcome to our weekly energy report here from transCODES. My name is Jona Bryndis, and I'm using those 5 minutes of sun to record this energy update. Today is May 11th, and things are shifting since yesterday. So let's have a look what this new week is going to bring us. Self-healing means allowing ourselves to open up for the miracle of healing. We have to allow ourselves, we have to give ourselves the freedom to heal, and we have to believe that it's possible. Everything next week will be around our perspectives, our opinions, our beliefs. When we clash with reality, it's because our opinions clash with what we are perceiving. And so one way, of course, is trying to control our environment. But another way, and that is the more feminine healing way, is to change the way we think about what we are perceiving, what we hold in mind, our beliefs and our opinions. So if you want to discover your own self-healing powers and want to reclaim them, you have to connect with your inner navigator. Alright, so this week's energy update is called Reconnect with Your Inner Healer. And I gave it the title Deep Healing because we've all been going through this really prolonged time of looking at our patterns and back and forth and, looking at our unhealthy habits and whatnot. And quite frankly, everybody who is with me here on the energetically sensitive side is probably really, really tired of this. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel, the surface, of us reemerging. But we're not quite there yet. All right. So last week we were looking at our core fears. We were looking at things that had to do with how open we are, and maybe we're too open. And I received a lot of questions in regards to waiting versus asking for guidance. So what is the middle ground here? What do we do when we go through this deep healing phase that has been predicted for all year, really? Well, the most obvious thing is to face whatever comes along. And my last week's recommendation was to really accept your body as your ally in this journey, to go into your inner sensations and signals and learn them, learn this language of your body so that you don't have to go into resistance so much. All right, so this week we can apply this. All right, this week is a great week. Things are shifting to the positive. There's light, there's new energy, there's new vitality, and those of you sensitive to energies, you may have felt this yesterday. There was like this really sudden burst of inner energy, new ideas coming forward, new perspectives, new prospects. And that's something you want to anchor right now. So please don't think it's just a temporary thing. This is like really the beginning of new opportunities now. And so if you want to work with your body and learn more how to self-heal yourself, then go into this feeling and feel out, where do I still have resistance? Where do I not live my purpose? Where am I not really acting or thinking or emoting towards where I want to be, towards my purpose? I know many of you have a hard time right now to even discerning what your purpose is. And discerning is kind of like the key word for this next week. We have a lot of stuff going on here on our political arena, that makes it really, really difficult for us to trust our senses. That's why we have to stop externalizing our powers, our senses. That's the reason why we need to learn to listen to our heart's navigator. And one way to do this is to eliminate the things that are in the way, the things that keep pulling us back, that keep pulling us down, that make us. Lots of you reported about adrenal fatigue, and I talked about this a few weeks back. This happens when we're overstimulated energetically and when we don't know how to shield ourselves from outer energies. But it also happens when we cannot really discern what is ours and what isn't. And so a lot of what we do here at transCODES is all about that. We do group sessions, we do webinars, regular meetings, and so forth, and private sessions, of course, and it's all about that. It's all about how to learn my energies, how to learn outer energies, and how to navigate through that. How to become sort of more confident in this world that seems so bombarding. Really, all we have to learn is to accept that there are outer influences, just like how we do this in regards to our physical immune system. We all know that there are germs around us. Just because we can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. But this doesn't mean that that we have no chance of survival once we know how much of those anti-genes are actually around us. It just means that we need to inform ourselves, that we need to educate ourselves, and that we need to go into connecting with what we can and what we can't do, with what we can control and with what we can't control. There's an article that I posted with this weekly Energy Digest called The 3 Stages of Self-Healing. If you are new to discovering healing energies or energies altogether within you or around you, read this article. There I'm pointing out the major obstacles of self-healing, which are externalizing our inner powers, trying to control the process too much, and the overall disconnect that we have, that we often choose through coping or fears, of what we may find. It's a very beautiful article. I wrote this 3 years ago and I republished it today. So when it comes to like bridging this gap between our physical reality, say physical pain or emotional pain or mental stuff, and our energetic reality, which is our etheric, our true power within, then we need to really work with what we have. And what do we have? We have, of course, our 5 senses, but then we also have this inner gut feeling. We have our intuition, and then we have our expression. How can we bring this into the world? And then, of course, we have our heart here, which is at the center of our energy body, that can guide us through all this. And this week is wonderful for merging our inner heart's guidance with our energetic sensitivity and our expression. So let's look at the energy tip for this week. This week we're going to probably have a lot of symptoms around our 4th and 5th, our heart and our throat chakra. So like right here, here, and here. Last week we talked about 7th chakra and 1st chakra. This week it's more about here, all right? And now it's really going higher up. It's going into our throat, not so much the pain, but the release aspect of that. So deep healing it consists of 2 major parts. One is to identify what's in the way and to release it. And the other part is to connect with what can actually strengthen us from within. And so our heart chakra is what strengthens us, and our throat chakra is what helps us to release. And when we have to release things through our throat chakra, it means that we have to speak our truth, that we have to find our true inner voice, that we have to stop listening to this constant churning of our inner critic. This is never going to end. You can go into those mental loops that come from your critical inner voice forever. All right, so this is something we got to learn now. How can we bridge this gap? And there is something in between our fourth and fifth chakra. Some call it a chakra also, an energy center also. It's our thymus. Behind here is our thymus gland, right here where our clavicle bones come together. Some people can actually feel it. I don't. I can feel it energetically, but not sort of when I touch here. And that's the center of our etheric and physical immunity, our vitality. It's connected to our lymphatic system. We talked about that like 3-4 weeks ago. It's connected with our autonomous nervous system. It's part or essential part of our endocrine regulation. And it is no coincidence that it sits right between our heart and our throat, right between identifying, discerning truth, and expressing truth. And if you want to work on activating your thymus this week and to really sort of embrace this new vitality that is coming forward, you can do what they call thymus thumping 15, 20 times to remind yourself of your juices, of your endocrine system, to release the things that are no longer needed and to embrace the things that are coming in. There's a lot of theory about how the thymus is actually connected with our pituitary gland, and with that also with our pineal gland, and with this connected with our growth, with our spiritual growth. Physically, it helps to regulate our growth hormones, but it is not quite proven yet how far our thymus gland actually also increases or helps to support our spiritual growth. Well, I can tell you from my personal experience then that tapping or thumping your thymus gland really works. All right, so if you feel like you're having a moment of where you're feeling lost, where you're feeling a little down, where you need some extra energy, where you need to find the right words to express yourself, or where you just need to connect more with who you truly are, tap your thymus, tap here slightly. You can even do this in public. And of course, the all-encompassing I am breathing. So most of you who work with me know how I stress the importance of breathing, and it's not an energetic secret that breathing, helps to increase the flow of energy. It helps to increase the oxygen flow in your system as well. So it's all connected. All right, your body and your energy body, they're completely connected. You will find much more analogies here if you really sort of feel this out a bit than you think they are. So I am breathing is to breathe the conscious breathing of your upper energies and your lower energies into your heart center and releasing them sideways as you breathe out. This is a breathing technique that I describe on the website, and I want to talk about this in the upcoming live stream Saturday night on Facebook. Last week we talked a lot about what happens if our seventh, our crown chakra, is too open. This week I would like to talk about what happens if our heart chakra is too open. And if you join me on the Facebook live stream, we can discuss how this can influence our ability to discern energies that are coming in from the outside. You know that you can come there and ask live questions or post some questions ahead of time. And we can discuss a bunch of sessions, energy sessions here at transCODES that are supposed to help you to go into this deep healing process, accompanied by trained energy coaches. So if you would like to have a look at what you can do to further increase your self-healing abilities, check out those recommended energy work modalities for next week. Again, we're looking at a pretty busy weekend and week ahead. We're starting off with the shadow work transmission this Friday night. very, very cool inner reconciliation and healing work, probably the most gentle way of facing our inner darkness and learning how to reframe it. It's a very, very beautiful process. Then on Mother's Day on Sunday, we're going to have a special Grace Recovery. In Grace Recovery, we are discovering how we can reconnect with our most natural, original state of divinity. And in the process, we're probably going to encounter some of the things that are holding us back from expressing that. So if you have time on Sunday, this is a really beautiful session. Then on Wednesday, mark your calendars. We have our monthly free Connect with Your True Self. Probably my favorite transmission, my favorite remote energy session. I've called it the beginning and the end of our journey. It's probably something that, especially those of you who have not yet much experience with distance healing, that you really appreciate. In this session, we do nothing but connecting with our heart center and trying to communicate with our true self, with our higher self. So you are invited to this complimentary session on Wednesday at 5 p.m. And then something to look forward to next weekend. We have a big intensive coming up, a 3-day how to navigate your energy, learning how to do energetic visioning. All right, and this consists of first learning how to navigate our inner energies, followed by lots of tips and tricks how to navigate outer energies, and finally how to navigate dimensions. Very exciting. I'm hoping to see you next week here at our energy update, and I'm wishing you all the best. Keep connecting.